hot, live, and fresh for the latest edition of Consistently Inconsistent Sports. Coming to you, one from a car, two from their apartments. Here we go. Colin Morris, your host, joining me, Leighton Markwood. What's up?
What up, though?
From his car, Michael Kinslow, staying late from work, keeping the government proud. How's it going, bud?
Pretty good, man. You can't play hard unless you work hard.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us all the way from your car. A for
Yep.
effort.
I turned my light on just for that part, but it's going off now.
All right, so we'll go with the what had happened. Not to gloat, but Manchester City beat Chelsea 6-0 on Sunday, and I just wanted to mention that. It was pretty sick.
I mean, that's an ass kicking any way you look at it. I mean,
any way you look at it.
Yeah, there's no saving grace at all in that.
I don't know too much about international soccer or soccer period, but I do know it's hard to score 6 goals in FIFA. So sounds like a pretty impressive feat.
Real life. Yeah, in real life. And it was Sergio Aguero had a hat trick, and it was his second hat trick in 2 Sundays. He had a hat trick last week, and he had another one this week. So the man's on fire. He has more goals in 2019 than Chelsea has as an entire team.
Oh.
Damn,
that's a crazy stat.
Is Chelsea struggling big time?
Yeah, their coach kind of sucks, and they're just riddled with players that are always in trade rumors or transfer rumors, and it just hasn't been good for their team. And they're supposed to have one of the best goalies in the entire planet, and he's just been kind of Lindsey Vonn announced her retirement a couple weeks ago that this was going to be her last event, but she medaled. She got bronze in it was a world championship, right?
Skiing
world championship, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she got third place. So good for her, medaling in her last event.
Dude, that is officially like a legend of downhill skiing, though. That's out.
Yeah, and she could have been even better. You know, she had a bunch of freak injuries, especially later in her career. Who knows how just dominant she would have been.
Yeah. Is Bodie Miller still going?
Yikes. I don't know if you guys saw this. I thought this was interesting. Bob Costas kind of opened up about his departure from NBC Sports, or abrupt departure. They did a piece on him on Outside the Lines on Sunday. It boiled down to a conference that he went to and spoke at, where he said blatantly that football is responsible for brain injuries and isn't doing enough about it. Like, the NFL themselves aren't doing enough about it. Just so happened to be about 6 weeks before he was supposed to host the Super Bowl for NBC and do the halftime and all that stuff, and they cut him from it. Just dropped him, did the whole, like, Bob Costas' views are not represent those of NBC Universal. So
wait, so is he
I think
out?
It's kind of a low blow. Like, he's totally out of NBC. He is out. Mike Tirico has taken his job completely. So thoughts? I mean, I think it's kind of messed up because Bob Costas is kind of like one of the guys of our childhood. Like, we all grew up listening to Bob Costas, and I think that's kind of just a low blow on NBC to just kind of cut him dry like that when it's not like he's speaking lies. It's not like somebody, he's speaking the truth.
And he's like the face of NBC's Football Night in America. Like, you got him, Tirico, who just joined recently, and Mike Florio and Chris Sims.
Right. And it just doesn't seem fair. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that I'd like to retell me about things I just watched that Bob Costas, and now you have no reason for me to watch somebody at 7:15 for an hour and 15 minutes have to ramble about what we all just watched during the day. So, somehow find a new way to make it interesting, and Bob Costas usually found a good way to make it interesting.
Is Dan Patrick still on the show?
Dan Patrick's always an NBC guy. He's there calling Cowherd on NBC Sports Radio, so he'll always have that fishing line. Michael, how did this play in Mormon land?
They don't really care that much. They don't watch NFL football. But, I mean, to play devil's advocate, you got to look at it from the sense that, like, NBC, they got Sunday Night Football, right? So it's one of your biggest money makers as a network. You can't have your face man discrediting what they're trying to say, whether it's true or not, right? Like, regardless of what the actual story is, if he's discrediting what one of your biggest money makers is, I mean, they have to do something. I mean, as an organization, you got to cut your losses right then and there. Was it fair or not? Probably not. But I mean, in terms of like
while this is interesting,
it makes sense.
An interesting thought. I mean, the ratings went up from 2017. So, I mean, it's not like NBC's looking at this like, oh, this was a bad business decision. Like, their ratings went up. Now, of course, that's not like ratings went up because Bob Costas leaves NBC. Like, that's, of course, not what it is. But still, so it's not like NBC's out there. But, I mean, it's just sad that's probably – it's sad that the last thing people are going to think about when they think about Bob Costas, it could have been that Super Bowl last year. But instead, it's going to be his pink eye freak out at the Olympics 3 years ago. Right? But that's sad. Like, that's sad.
Wait, so this Bob Costas thing happened last year?
This happened last year when NBC had the Super Bowl last year.
He wasn't on NBC this year? Jesus. I guess I never watched the pregame.
I didn't watch any of that coverage, mainly because Guiane would, like, it's if the 4 o'clock game ended at 7 o'clock, there's no way that she's going to allow me to sit at the TV and watch something for an hour and a half that was all I just watched for 2 hours, for the last 6 hours. I know I didn't watch any this year, but apparently the ratings were up. So. But it'd be interesting to see, like, last year he wasn't there at all. And we didn't really notice, and it took this story a year later for us to even talk about it.
Yeah, I guess the NFL really put this under the rug because as devoted of an NFL fan as I am, I honestly still thought Bob Costas was doing Football Night in America.
Just totally gone, totally crazy, which is weird. Really, really, really weird to think about. So let's keep it to football. Let's move to we can do Kyler first. So unfortunately for Oakland A's fans and the one sitting on the couch about 15 feet from me, Kyler Murray chose to pay back about 95% of his salary, his signing bonus that he got from the Oakland A's, and he's chosen to pursue football as his career path. Leighton, as the only member of this podcast that is somewhat employed by Major League Baseball to some degree, thoughts?
Well, I think we all said this when we talked about what Tyler was going to do a couple weeks ago. I definitely think he made the right decision in going to the NFL strictly because he's a quarterback. So there's less injury risk in playing football than there is in other positions. And you have the greatest position to actually make money and make really good money, whereas he could have been stuck in the minors his entire baseball career. You have no idea.
That tweet you sent us of the Lake Monsters. What was the city?
What is it?
Regardless, the story is that one of the teams that Kyler would have first played for
Vermont.
the A's and their farm system. Who was it?
Vermont Lake Monsters. Single A
Vermont
club.
Lake Monsters. So one of the teams that he potentially would have been sent to in his first stints in the minors creates a video tune of "Teardrops on My Guitar" by Taylor Swift of their mascot being sad that Kyler will not be joining them this season. I thought that's a good play on it. I saw something interesting, and Michael, I'd like your take on this. I read something that said, now Kyler hasn't been training to be a football player for the last 4 years, has he? He's been training to be a professional baseball player in the off season. So is he a little step behind? Right, like he doesn't have a coach. Like to my knowledge, he hasn't hired a quarterback coach. It seems like he's a little behind the bar here. Is that something that teams are going to be worried about? Broncos?
Hey, I saw a news article today that we're going to sign Joe Flacco, so it doesn't even matter.
I saw one that said you guys need to sign Nick Foles or Matt Stafford or the offseason is lost. So we're all over the place.
I would actually not be that mad about Matt Stafford, to be real with you.
I knew it was going to be Stafford. It could have been Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback, but I knew you were going to pick Matt Stafford.
Stafford's a fine quarterback.
I would still lean towards Stafford in that one. But back to your original question. Honestly, I don't think teams are going to be too worried. I mean, the dude is an athletic monster, and that's all they're going to see, right? When he if he go into the draft or the draft, or not the draft, but the combine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to tear it up in the combine and Oklahoma Pro Day. He's going to put out outlandish numbers.
And like when you're a guy that is that high profile, dual sport, that kind of thing, I don't think it's going to be hard for him to find a high profile coach to do reps and stuff over the off season. Now, in terms of the actual reps, his stamina, things like that, in terms of football stuff, I mean, he's definitely behind. But are they going to care? I don't think they're going to care that much.
I would love to see a team go out and call me crazy if it's play along. Say it's the Dolphins. I'd love to see a team like the Dolphins shed the dead weight of Ryan Tannehill. Such a waste of time. The dude was a wide receiver a year before he was drafted into football. Like, I don't care what you saw at Texas A&M.
They've already said as much. He's gone.
Good. As long as – okay, so we're on the same page. But continue this hypothetical.
Osweiler is their man.
True. Right.
The rocket ship.
Brock Osweiler arguably played better for them than Tannehill did. Say they bring in Kaepernick for a year and then let Kyler get a year under his belt, like really get a year under his belt because he's small. And like not like Lamar small where you say he's like small frame, but Lamar's 6'3". Like
Kyler's like 5'10", right?
They're gonna say he's 5'9". The NFL ain't gonna mess with 5'9" flat.
But then they're gonna hit him with the Drew Brees comparisons because Drew Brees is 5'9", bro.
No,
right. But the thing is gonna vault him up. I'm just afraid for him. I'm just afraid for the hype. All right, Leighton, we'll take this. Michael, get upstairs. Get up into the computer.
Yeah, I just parked. I'll be up in a second.
Man, so to bring up Kaepernick, like, come on, like.
No. I'm just saying like that type of situation, somebody with the system, so you don't have to do that thing. Like, I feel like Lamar kind of suffered, the offense kind of suffered at least from everything being this or that. It's either the Joe offense we're running right now or it's the Lamar packages that we're running right now. If you could have it be the same packages, I'm just thinking in terms of like what would be the best situation for him.
I just think we've passed the will Cap gets signed. He hasn't played football in like 3 years now.
It's true.
And I like Cap. I enjoy watching Cap, but he had poor mechanics, and now he's over 30. So it's like teaching an old dog new tricks.
You're definitely, I totally agree. I'm just thinking, in terms of like the best thing for him would really be to sit behind somebody that plays like him, that moves like him, not having it to be like, I really feel like we're going to look back and feel like we lost half a season of development with Lamar. Because
how about this? Jacksonville, obviously they're going to cut ties with Blake Bortles. They signed Teddy Bridgewater and draft Kyler with their first pick.
I would love that. I would really, really love that. That would be great. Smartest decision Jacksonville would have made. You could convince me that Jacksonville has turned it around in terms of decision making if that's something that they do.
And I really want to see Teddy get another starting gig. I hope he's recovered.
Was it 4 games we got before he got injured at the Vikings? Yes.
No.
Like he was shining.
Well, he started his first 2 seasons, right? And then tore his ACL in camp.
Right.
And then played like 1 snap for where was he? Where was he last season?
Saints.
No, before the Saints.
Saints and Jets.
At the Jets. So he played 1 snap for the Jets, and he started the last game of the season for the Saints, and he was not very good, but
Yeah, he was a little, but that's not his offense.
Right. I was just gonna say, like, being Teddy Bridgewater and trying to run Drew Brees' offense and Sean Payton's offense
doesn't work.
No,
you don't have the same, like, saying that Drew Brees is creative and saying that Teddy Bridgewater is also creative are two totally different definitions of the word creative when it comes to football, in terms of what they can do. And he's back.
What a do?
What up?
Sweet. So, Michael, so we threw out the idea, Leighton threw out the perfect idea of the Jacksonville Jaguars signing Teddy Bridgewater and drafting Kyler Murray.
Be a dynamic duo, bro.
And yeah. Okay, cool. So let's all email, what's his name? Khan?
Oh,
Mr.
yeah, Khan.
Mr. Khan, we have the secrets to success for your organization. Hopefully you're going to use whatever pick you got for Fowler on another wide receiver.
Yeah.
Keep losing those. And I don't know what's up with Fournette.
Didn't they waste a pick a few years back on Justin Blackmon too?
Yeah. That went really well.
Yeah, he's a stud. What else happened? Something else happened in football that I was... Oh, right. Kareem Hunt's a Brown.
I'm surprised he's an NFL player. I mean...
I'm not. I'm
less than 12 months ago.
I didn't think he'd get picked up before free agency started, but I did think he'd get picked up this offseason.
Did you guys read the statement?
No. What'd they say about it?
Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. It was a whole thing. Here it says, so Dorsey was the GM of the Chiefs when they drafted Hunt. So there's a little history here between Dorsey and Hunt. So that's kind of the angle that they're playing here. So here's a quote from Dorsey. Says, "My relationship and interaction with Kareem since 2016 in college was an important part of the team process."
Oh,
we then did.
Your mic cut out there, bro.
Did you get me now?
Yeah, you're good right now.
Okay. My relationship. Okay, so we'll go. But we then did extensive due diligence with many individuals, including clinical professionals, to have a better understanding of the person he is today and whether it was pertinent to sign him. There were two important factors. One is that Kareem took full responsibility for his egregious actions, and secondly, just as importantly, he is undergoing and is committed to necessary professional treatment and a plan that has been clearly laid out. So they thought about it, or at least said they thought about it when it came to like the outside of football implications. Leighton, you said you were a little surprised that it happened this quick.
I just thought more would come out about like Kareem and his progress. I knew he's been taking classes ever since,
expecting at least like maybe a pre-draft NFL Live interview
or even just like, hey,
go on a podcast like ours,
or just like wait a little bit and all of a sudden out of the blue you just hear like Tampa Bay has invited Kareem Hunt to training camp.
Right. I was sit down one-on-one with Bob Costas.
With Bob or without Pink Eye?
Do a podcast. I feel like Bob Costas on a podcast would crush. But so, I mean, the football implications of this, we look at this now. This is terrifying.
Your internet cut out football again right there.
Yeah, we missed all of that.
It was more of an internet thing, not a mic thing.
Okay, how about now?
You're good right now.
Okay. So football-wise, I'm terrified. Thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead, Leighton.
I mean, I don't know. Like, we'll see. It's still got to be Nick Chubb's backfield, right? Like, they can't just supplant him with Kareem Hunt.
My fantasy team is terrified.
I was going to say something to you earlier about that.
Don't act like I wasn't already. That was the first thing that cut through my mind. Don't even think it was the Baltimore Ravens having to deal with this. We can deal with that. We can plot for a running back. I can deal with that. But what I can't deal is with Nick Chubb falling into my lap and now having this. I hope he's just the whole season.
Are you still keeping Chubb after all this?
I need to find out what the NFL's suspension's going to be, because nothing was going to come down until he got picked up by a team, right? Because, I mean, he's just chilling.
Chubb's still...
How does he go through the...
Chubb's too popular. They can't do that to the city.
What does he have to... But I don't know. He should have had to have done something to get back in here, right? There had to be level. Did he clear the levels? I feel like is he still on the exempt list?
Yes, absolutely.
So they sign him and he's on the exempt list. So that's when Washington signed Reuben Foster, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Washington still technically has Reuben Foster, even though he's whatever he is.
Yeah.
He's not playing for them, right? Or he's not with the team. Allowed to come to work tomorrow?
That's a good thought. Is he even allowed on the premise to practice and stuff, right?
Right. What's the point of this? Is the point of this just for the Browns to do it first?
They're like, hey, guys, they just called dibs. I mean, that's what they did. They
said dibs. Right. Yeah. They just called dibs.
That's the set. In my eyes, that's what this is.
Plenty of other teams that should have done this first.
Oh, yeah. No. John Dorsey was just dibs. He called fives. You can't have it. Sorry, guys.
But Dorsey's there's no bigger shitstorm that could fall on the Browns anyway, so let's just go ahead and take it.
Somebody was going to do it. I think Kareem Hunt deserves a second chance as long as he proves to everyone that he's been taking the right steps.
Yeah, I just need to see. I think the league needs to see something, or else this can't just he's not showing up to work on. He's not playing week 1. I would say
no way.
That's a guarantee he's not playing week 1. But we also haven't, Adam Schefter also hasn't been very active on tweets either, saying, here's what's next for Kareem.
Yeah, I mean, looks like Colin froze, but it looks like we got a lot more with Josh Gordon and stuff, though, Leighton, in terms of news.
Oh, there's some new Josh Gordon updates?
No, I'm just saying, you think with how big of an incident was, okay, you're back. Colin's back. You froze for a solid 30 seconds at least, so we just continued.
I can't tell. My broadcast is fine down here. What are we doing? I can't tell.
I don't know. Your internet just seems to be popping in and out. But no, I was saying to Leighton when you cut out Colin, I was like, we heard more news about Josh Gordon smoking weed than we ever did so far with Kareem Hunt.
I got another article the other day about Josh Gordon coming back in May.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
We have more news about that than Kareem Hunt all of a sudden. Granted, it's still pretty early, but I feel like we got minute by minute updates on the whole Josh Gordon situation. And we've gotten zero about this.
It just shows you what society cares about, apparently, and domestic violence isn't up there.
But what's the next update? I feel like we definitely should have gotten something. We should have heard something. There should have been something from anyone.
Well, what can you do? You take
the NFL, I think, should have made their decision by now. Are they still investigating? Because if it was an open investigation, I feel like the Browns should have had a harder time signing him like this.
No,
making the same news cycle out of it.
Same thing with Foster, and Josh Gordon. They're on the exempt list because they haven't proved that they're ready to return. It's a very long process. Josh Gordon was on it for over a year.
Right, but But Josh wasn't on it. Was he? He was on
he was on the Browns and on the Browns, exempt list for 13 months.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. The next thing that dictates this story is how long is the suspension?
Pretty much. I mean, that's what people care about in terms of the news. They want to know how long he's going to be out, and then what happens after that.
What's precedent? 4 to 6 games?
I mean, didn't Tom Brady get 4 games for some little?
Tom Brady got 4 games for deflating footballs. This dude pushed a girl on the ground and got caught on video. Ray Rice got caught on video and lost his career. Granted, you could say Ray Rice is in a very different position in his career than Kareem Hunt is.
It was also a 4-game suspension. So he was not suspended for the season. It was a 4-game suspension. The Ravens cut him that day.
And he wasn't in a very good playing place to even be in a place for other teams to give him a chance.
Right. He was 30 coming off 2 very down years with a lot of usage. Kareem is a third-year guy.
Also, probably the most high-profile
back. I think this is a chance for them to be like, all right, 8 games. We're setting a standard here. We're setting a precedent. We're setting a new precedent. It can't be a slap on the wrist. There's got to be some ownership, at least by the NFL, that they actually give a shit. Because right now it just seems like they don't give a shit and just care about football. That's just me. So the AAF happened.
My only thing, though, Colin, is that domestic abuse happens in not every household, but it happens in every career and industry. And
True.
Like, you don't see guys like, all right, you're out the next 3 months, man. We'll see you in April and, hope the best for you.
No, but those guys aren't getting paid $20 million like the NFL guys are. These guys are held to a higher standard than the mailman.
I mean, I get your point, but I also don't see why, like, the people who are saying Kareem Hunt should never play again, I don't think that's fair.
I don't think that's fair either. I think I was saying that to make it like the non-comparison to Ray Rice. So like it's not comparable because he was at a place in his career where
it's like he's already on the down. He's already on the decline. Right. So
Kareem's in a different place, but they also can't just let it slide. Like they've taken a lot of shit for Greg Hardy just getting 4-game suspensions every, year and a half. That doesn't work anymore. Like, I just feel like it's a chance for them to make a stand.
I just looked it up. Ray Rice was actually only suspended for 2 games.
Yeah, see, that's terrible.
Did Joe Mixon do any time after he got drafted?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he sat out
because it was it happened in college.
Yeah.
I think Zeke had 4 games, right, for a domestic violence issue. I think that's like the longest one on precedent.
Let's say 4 to 6. 8 would be nice, but 4 to 6 is what we're gonna get.
My last thing on that is like, if it doesn't work out in the NFL, Dana White probably has a pretty fat contract for a new kickboxer.
Sure.
UFC might be looking.
Speaking of new contracts and new things, the AAF busted out like a bullet this weekend, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. Steve Spurrier brought back the throw it all over the place offense, and it was amazing. Leighton caught the Orlando Apollos versus the Atlanta Legends.
Yeah, I saw the first half. It was fun, man.
First game. It was.
Garrett Gilbert looked good. He looked like he'll probably get another shot in the league, at least a training camp invite.
Put Garcia out there, man. Put us out there. Those dudes are just open. Steve stacked up on some good old O-linemen.
So people were calling it the Orlando special, right? When Jalen Marshall took that double reverse and tossed it in the end zone to Garrett Gilbert. But in the post-game press conference, Spurrier brought up a different special. That was the Connor Shaw special back in the 2014 Outback Bowl, where our boy Bruce Ellington threw a touchdown pass to old Connor.
Bruce.
Right in front of my section, right in front of the band section. I was there. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. The presentation, the game, like it was a blowout, but I enjoyed watching it. Like it wasn't like, like there were picks, like the defense was hungry. Like there was always something happening.
Did you guys watch that intro video? Please tell me you watched the intro video.
They were hungry.
Dude, we were dying laughing, but we were all just like, I love this so much.
Did you see I sent the video out to the hit that one of the guys in the San Antonio San Diego game laid out, and he knocked the San Diego quarterback's head off. It was awesome.
Dude. Yeah,
Berkovich got annihilated, the old Arizona State quarterback.
And every tag everywhere was like, can't believe this is legal. NFL, you would have been lost for the season. They'd have taken away your paycheck.
Hey,
I don't have anything bad to say about it. The only thing is the app needs some box scores.
Seriously, give us some box scores. Also, I have some updates. So off camera, we were talking about AAF affiliations. So it's not just that each team has its own affiliation. Each team has 4 NFL affiliations.
Right. That each team has a way. Right.
They have ownership and can claim, a subset number of players.
So I would say the Broncos probably have something to do with the Salt Lake team.
It's Denver, Green Bay, Minnesota, and Seattle.
Yeah. And the Ravens, Cardinals, Bears, and Niners are all affiliated with the Arizona Hotshots.
So I guess the Apollos are the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Buccaneers, and the Saints. No, the Saints probably have the Iron, right?
It's Dolphins, Giants, Jets, Bucks.
Jets?
It's not really regional based.
Okay.
Yo, Elliott Fry made a kick on Saturday. Shout out to Fry. Nailed that 33 like it was nothing.
He made 2 of them, 2 for 2.
Dude. I personally, I like the fact that I'm like not looking. It gives me one less reason. If you look at a football game, at least an NFL game, look at how the things progress. There's a lot of opportunity for you to look down at your phone. You at least we're probably kind of inundated that we know how long we can look down, glance, and then pop back up before a play starts.
Yeah.
It's popping in the AAF. It's moving. 2-point conversions are coming. It's moving. We don't have to kick off. Like, we're just moving. Offense is coming out. Like, we're booking. I'm digging it. We get more football. I like it.
Yeah, and it's something that, like, I doubt I'll watch on a weekly basis, but I'll still be curious as to, like, who's making plays, who's going to get that second, third chance in the league.
I think it's things are so dictated now by the social media cycle and how easily things can like go viral. Things like, like plays can go viral. It's just another thing on Saturdays, Sundays to pick up on Twitter. Like if I see 2, 3, 4 cool plays that, on the weekend that pop up on a video on Twitter, I'm not mad. Dude makes a cool catch. Cool. Just another opportunity for guys to, make their name. It's going to be interesting. So, Leighton, if I asked you to tell me who do you think the most successful player of the last 5 years to come out of the G League, who would you give me as a guy to look at as an example?
Well, right now, Jordan McRae is balling for the Wizards. He's been a multi-G League star.
Jarrett Jack.
Nice.
Jarrett Jack.
Who was that one guy? Something Ingram got called up to the Lakers. I think it was 2 years ago, but he was like 30 years old playing in the G League. Right.
I'm waiting. And what's interesting is that this league is the way they were pitching it and the way that Kurt Warner and whoever the lady was that was with him at the pregame show were talking about it. They want it to be
Jamie. What's her last name?
Erdhall. Yeah.
Something like that.
But the way they're talking about it, they want it to be this developmental league. And for every other position, I see that as a good thing, except for quarterback. Like, I really think it's going to be hard for a guy to come into, at this point, at least where this league is right now. Maybe in the next 5 years, we'll see a quarterback come through. But it's just going to be hard for a guy to break through and separate himself. So I'm picturing these guys. The season ends in May. They're hoping for a July injury in training camp and getting a call.
Yeah.
That's what they're hoping for. But the best case scenario is going to be one of these wide receivers or a linebacker, or it's probably Will Hill. Will Hill might be the first guy out of these guys that gets a call from training camp. Is like, we need some help.
As long as he has his head right, man, because
can you get us 15 snaps? I think Will Hill is good for 15, 20 snaps a game for a good team in the NFL.
Dude, he was an excellent player for the Ravens and the Giants.
I was honestly surprised to see him on the roster and not on somebody else's in the NFL.
Too many suspensions, man. But to your point, Colin, about quarterbacks, I think it's an area where this is a league that is mostly going to have undrafted guys. So it gives them a chance to get some added tape on the professional level.
I feel like they might need to adjust that time frame. Like it just seems awkward. It just seems awkward for like in terms of opportunities of how they're timing it, because then you're going to have undrafted guys that like, are all of these guys, hopefully while they're not playing for their teams, like what are these guys doing during the NFL season? Are they on practice squads? Are they legally allowed to go play on a practice squad and then come back and play for their team if they don't get signed?
Considering they're affiliates of NFL teams, like that makes it sound like the NFL teams have ownership on the players' rights.
So that's interesting. So it would be nice if then all these guys got training camp calls, or at least got practice squad calls, that they were the first thoughts.
I'm sure a lot of them will get, training camp invites.
Yeah, you can see
it's going to be interesting to see how this first year kind of plays out, and then interesting to see, like, I don't know, who's a guy coming out this year that's probably really good that's going to go undrafted, like a big name, but like it's going to be interesting to see somebody young go from the AFL, because we've seen a lot of guys right now. These guys are mid 20s to late 20s playing right now. It's going to be interesting to see when they get the youngest guys in there that aren't making it, how the league starts turning. Because I don't know any of these receivers.
Quentin Patton's out there. He had some nice seasons for the Niners.
That was sad. That one guy for the Apollos was apparently he played at Florida State and then went to go to the Olympics, and then he's just a punt returner and dropped 2 punts.
Oh no!
Tearing him apart. Sad. It's just, I'm a fan. I'm interested. You got me interested after the first week.
Yeah, and while like they want the AAF to be a developmental league of sorts, they also tapped into college football fan bases. All of these teams are in like college football havens. They're not in major cities outside of Atlanta, or I guess I'll give San Diego that shout out as well.
Biggest cities are Atlanta and San Diego. Like, that's good for your league.
Yeah, and
it's good to give those, like San Antonio, they packed that place. Orlando, they didn't give up.
Dude, I'm sure Birmingham was filled to the brim with Roll Tide fans.
Right. Yeah, they just wanted to see football. Like, that's it. Orlando, they're banking off of what? UCF fans. Like, I feel like Orlando might have been a bad place, and Spurrier was just like, y'all put a team here because I live here now. Y'all gonna put a team here because it's where I live. You hear?
You hear?
I ain't doing that. I ain't doing this. I'm putting a team in Orlando. Patty ain't moving again.
They should get more fans because like half their team went to UF, man.
Right? Half the squad, and then they're playing in the UCF arena that says 2017 national champions. I think that is the best thing in football.
Oh no, I didn't see that. That's amazing.
Yeah, they actually put a banner up.
I knew they got rings and shirts.
They made everything. They made the shirts that they give the kids in Africa, but they wear them for real.
Yeah.
The shirts that aren't real. They take pride in wearing them around.
It's a crazy world we live in.
It is absolutely insane.
Dude, I just gotta say, whoever made the website for the AAF did a dog shit job.
Yeah, it's real weak.
Like if you go to the stats page, half the time it just changes the color scheme, but it doesn't actually change the stats on the page.
Right.
Dude, that's brand new. Stats was not there like 5 hours ago.
Yeah, stats just got put up.
They're
I looked at that before the game, before we started.
now.
Yeah, they're like live rolling it out, and I'm sitting here criticizing the shit out of it.
Okay, so the NBA trade deadline passed. Things kind of shook up. I think this is the stackedest the league has been. I'm of the opinion that if you don't like the Golden State Warriors, then the NBA is giving you reason to like basketball because all these teams are stepping it up. This is an arms race akin to the Cold War. Like this is unprecedented, the amount of trades that are going around with these teams trying to figure out how in the world are we going to stack up against Golden State. And I'm at a loss trying to figure out who did it best because the fact that the Bucks are even in the conversation with the Sixers is just showing that the league is better than it's been, at least in the last 10 years, in terms of like teams that can hang. Am I crazy? Probably. Clayton.
I mean, the East is going to be exciting, but it's still going to be inevitably 4-1, 4-0 Warriors in the end. So,
see, I think if the Bucks get there, the Bucks are going to give the Warriors a hard time.
Really?
Yeah. Really. They actually have
who's
players that
bench?
can play through 10 players who can play.
Who's their bench?
They got Brogdon. They got let's pull up the whole squad.
You tell me Brogdon doesn't start?
No, Eric Bledsoe starts.
Wouldn't they put Brogdon at the 2, Middleton at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Brook at the 5? What other starting 5 would they roll out?
Here we go.
Tony Snell? Don't tell me they're starting Tony Snell.
Hey man, don't. Okay, so they're starting 5: Middleton, Brogdon, Bledsoe, Giannis, Brook Lopez. Then they got George Hill, Pat Connaughton, Tony Snell. Now it'll be Mirotic coming in instead of Ilyasova, which is big. Mirotic was a big pickup for them. They got DiVincenzo, and I don't like that they had to get rid of Thon Maker. I didn't like that. That's one thing I'm kind of testing.
Well, he wanted out. He wasn't getting minutes. He wanted out. So it's one of those situations where you just cut your losses.
Well, who do you think? So take out the Bucks because their Mirotic move is a little more minor. It wasn't so much trying to shift around your starting lineup. So look at the teams that made a big move when it came to their starting lineups. We'll take Toronto. We'll take Philly. And who am I forgetting?
That's it. The Celtics didn't do anything.
That's it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, nobody else really did anything. Boston didn't do anything. So if I gave Michael, I give you 3 teams. I give you Boston, Toronto, and Philly. Who you got out of those 3?
I mean, you can take Toronto. I mean, they're tied with the Bucks for first already. They just made the trades to try and improve even more. I mean, I don't see how it's an argument. I mean, Philly is trusting the process, but the process got them to here, but it's not getting them to here. Like,
I think the Tobias Harris moves makes them the most talented team in the East. We'll see if it all comes together. But
I need to see it for like three weeks. I need to see after the break.
Yeah, the Celtics dropped. I think they were already 4 in the standings, but everyone still thought they were number 1 in your hearts. I think the Celtics are now the 4th best team in the East.
That's hard to argue.
Are you counting out the Pacers right now, though?
Dude, if they had Vic, man, they would be a real competitor.
The Pacers have won their last 6 though without him.
They also lost to the Wizards by 18 points, like
Rumor was if Vic was healthy, they were going to be heavy players for Mike Conley. That would have been spicy, at least in the playoffs.
Man, I think Toronto, what they should have done is made the move for Mike Conley, not Gasol. They should have made a move for Mike Conley.
See, I think they played the math right, though. If you look at the math of what do I get out of Lowry and what do I get out of Conley, that
You
gap
get
was
nothing
smaller
out of
than what
Lowry.
do I get out of Gasol than what do I get out of Valanciunas.
Once
Valanciunas has just been terrible this year.
Once the playoffs start, you get nothing out of Kyle Lowry. He's terrible.
Well, we'll see how he does with Kawhi. He hasn't been in the playoffs with Kawhi yet. He doesn't have to be, as ball dominant as he had to be before, and it'll definitely be less pressure on him. I think a lot of that was pressure.
DeRozan was still the guy the last 2 years. It wasn't on Lowry's back. DeRozan was their best player.
Right, but a lot of it, I still say less pressure is on him now. There's more pressure on Kawhi than there is on Kyle Lowry in Toronto. But Kyle Lowry's, what is he, 31 now?
At least.
Wrong side of 30. I would say that my least favorite trade, it's got to be what the Grizzlies got, right? Like, I just feel like, what are the Grizzlies doing right now?
Yeah, if you weren't going to get rid of Gasol and Conley, what are you doing?
Their defense was that Conley is a big mentor to Triple J, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Apparently, they call him Triple J.
I mean, Conley's still young enough. I mean, he's still got Gasol is he's a shadow of what he once was. That's why I don't think
he balled out for the first month and a half of the season, and then just fell off. It was rapid. It was very sudden. Came out of nowhere, really. The Grizzlies looked like they were cool. Turning around, Gasol caught a second wind. Who knows?
All right. So Leighton, you said you still don't think the Bucks can compete with the Warriors, right?
I don't think so. No.
What if a hypothetical trade happened and somehow they ended up with Dame?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, Giannis and Dame would be nasty.
That's the kind of that's what I want to see, is that kind of stuff.
But what are they giving up to get Dame?
I mean, a lot.
You're probably going to have to give up Middleton, Bledsoe, and a first-round pick.
And then you lose Middleton, who's had his best season ever.
Yeah, then you lose a lot of depth, right? And so that's why it's tough to make those. That the Sixers getting Tobias Harris for a minimal loss. That's huge.
I'll say this is definitely going to be. I think an article I read this week put it best, that LeBron James leaving the Eastern Conference left a vacuum. And now we're finally getting to see a really competitive Eastern Conference. We've always wondered, what if you took LeBron out of the East? And now we're finally getting to see it. And I think we're going to have the most exciting first 3 rounds of playoff series we've ever had. And then Leighton, unfortunately, you're right. The finals are just going to be boring. I mean, hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not boring. Hopefully somebody comes through and starts hopefully Philly is this squad. Because Philly has the talent. They have the.
But regardless of who it is, it's going to be a team that has no finals experience going up against a team that'll be there for what would this be, the 5th year in a row?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
can't confirm. Let me check.
That added DeMarcus Cousins. So
yep. Can't confirm.
But next year it'll be cool because Boogie's gone and so is KD. And maybe Clay too, and the whole thing will be blown up.
If Clay's not going anywhere. Clay's already said he's not going anywhere.
Y'all better sign him to that Supermax.
He's getting it. He's getting it. Telling you right now, boy. I've told y'all tons of times. Kevin Durant can go. This team won a title without him. I have way better ways for the Warriors to spend that $38 million. Way better ways. Give the money to Draymond and Boogie.
Get out of here. Durant's the second best player in the league.
I've been saying for 2.5. I've been saying for almost 3 months. KD is out of here.
He is out of here, but that's not going to help your team. It's going to hurt your team.
I don't care. I want my friends back.
Draymond is nobody's friend.
Well, that's not. Draymond shouldn't be the issue here. Like, Draymond was the reason why the Warriors were good without Kevin Durant. Now Draymond just doesn't know what to do. Draymond's lost. Like, I feel like Kevin Levin would reopen Draymond Green up. He feels way more self-conscious about taking threes now. And now he doesn't do it.
Yeah. He looks like Ben Simmons out there trying to three.
So it's such an awkward, lanky shot. Like, I feel like he creates like a Brachiosaurus's neck or Brontosaurus's neck every time he shoots.
Dude, and he sticks out, his like, big old butt out like 4 feet and then takes the biggest lunge.
He like reaches for it somehow. I don't know where he goes. But he tries to hold it too, like he thinks it's going in.
Dude, it's bad. It looks like
my favorite sport.
It looks like Frogger hopping along the road.
It is. My favorite Warriors moment of the last week, though, was on what was it? It was like Thursday night. Yeah, Iggy shoots a three, turns around in front of Quinn Cook and Draymond Green and stares at him as it goes in and runs away before it drops, and the whole bench lost its mind. I was like, oh, that felt good. Iggy needed that. Iggy needed to feel like a kid again. Because he's been blocked way too many times and has missed so many dunks this season that I'm just like, he's out of here next season.
It's troubling when Iggy is like a 72 in 2K now. Like, you miss the good old days.
He was 86.
You miss those Sixer days.
The 86 on the Sixers, and he was the best player. And then it was like him. Was it Thaddeus Young? Oh my God, that original Sixers team before Thaddeus Young went all across the NBA.
Was Elton Brand still on that team?
Yes, it was Elton Brand. It was oh dude, this was like 2K11. Oh my God, that squad was Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was on that team, dude. Sixers, man, you guys had the process, man.
Dude, when they traded Drew, I was like, they officially have no idea what they're doing.
Man, I always liked Drew Holiday. I'm a fan.
Still do. Hope he doesn't get stuck in New Orleans post AD's eventual trade.
They should trade him to Phoenix. That would be great. That would actually be great.
Dude, they've been hunting for point guards ever since they shot down Isaiah Thomas and like let Goran Dragic walk for nothing.
That squad was so sad, and you never knew who to pick as point guard when you were playing 2K because they had like 4 of them.
Yeah, Bledsoe was on there too, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bledsoe was on there. Yeah, they had Isaiah Thomas, Bledsoe, and Goran Dragic. You just sit there and be like, God, which one of these 82 to 80 monstrosities am I going to start today? But then you just move Isaiah Thomas to the 2-guard spot, but then you're like, oh, wait, he's 5'8", and these guys are 6'5". This is going to go great. Well, I mean, I think when it comes down to it, the All-Star break, we're in a good place. NBA's in a good spot. I don't think Russ had his 10th triple-double in a row tonight, and Harden had 31. So it's 30 straight games with 30 points. There's been something to talk about with basketball every night, it seems, for the last 2 months. And I'm happy.
Yeah. The last team the Knicks beat was the Lakers.
I saw somebody on Twitter say, I fully accepted the fact that the Yankees are going to win a game before the Knicks.
They're at
my God.
They're at 17 L's in a row right now.
We're like 50 days away from Yankees baseball, so we'll see what happens.
Next time you're in a casino, can you find that betting odds? Because if somebody could give me the odds on that, that would be crazy. I bet the Yankees would be favored. Will the Yankees win a spring training game first, or will the Knicks win a game?
Well, spring training is next week, so I'm taking spring training.
Yeah, dude.
I'm taking the Florida League right there.
That's great. Let's see. What else was there on that list? There was NBA stuff. Tron, what are the Wizards doing? What do you think? What are the Wizards doing?
I want to shoot myself every week being a Wizards fan.
Did you like Bobby Portis' post-game interview?
Oh, I love Bobby Portis, but we're not going to re-sign him. Like, dude's killing it. He was like 6 of 8 from downtown today, and we still lost to Detroit. But, like...
He's amazing. He might be the best player ever to come out of Arkansas.
Trading away Otto Porter and not getting any draft picks back is a damn shame.
That's a shame. What draft was he in? Play a game with me.
Otto?
Yeah.
2011?
2013.
Third overall pick in 2013. Gone. For nothing.
This is my favorite game that we play.
For Jabari and Bobby Portis, who are both unrestricted free agents. Actually, Bobby's a restricted, so we can sign him, but he's going to take a lot of money.
Okay. My favorite game in the world to play with Leighton. What could have been? The first pick in the 2013 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers, for some fucking reason, pick Anthony Bennett. Who?
Excuse me?
I thought he was on Duke.
He went to UNLV. Trash.
No, that was a Zion poke.
I know what it was. Clapping back. Not letting you spoil this. Oh, I can't even say his name. Victor Oladipo went second. Obviously, best player out of the draft. Otto Porter, third. Charlotte Bobcats select Cody Zeller. Smart idea. Phoenix Suns select Alex Len. New Orleans Pelicans select Nerlens Noel. Trade him to Philly. The next... CJ McCollum with the 10th pick. How crazy is it that CJ McCollum is the second best player out of this draft, and he hasn't made an All-Star game?
I thought he made it last year.
Nope.
Bullshit.
But he doesn't have his boxes all white on these drafting things, so that they usually denote whether you've been chosen to an All-Star game. Michael Carter-Williams got Rookie of the Year, and he was the 11th pick. Oh, I'm sorry. Giannis was the 15th pick. Excuse me, everybody. Giannis was the 15th pick, and he's the best player out of this draft. Please take back the last minute out of my mouth.
See, but
so Leighton, what's the one you could have had Giannis at 2?
But nobody knew who Giannis was. Otto was a top 5 player.
Nobody knew that. I'm just messing with you.
He was a top 5 player in that draft, though, and we got 2 guys that are on expiring deals.
We got
salary cap space to sign Kevin Durant. He's not fucking coming here.
Rudy Gobert was the 27th pick, and the Nuggets drafted him and then traded him to Utah. Way to go, Michael.
Hey, we're doing just fine now, man.
You were doing just fine, little buddy. Marko Todorovic. Nope, hasn't actually played in the league. Peyton Siva was the 56th pick in this draft.
And he sure was fun to watch at Louisville.
He was great. Pierre Jackson. All these names. Tony Mitchell. He's still playing. Alex Abrines. He was just in a trade, wasn't he?
Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, we're getting down to the end. Who cares? Tim Hardaway Jr. was the 24th pick. All right. I'd rather you guys had Tim Hardaway Jr. than Otto Porter.
Was Trey Burke not in that draft?
Trey Burke was the 9th pick in that draft.
Okay.
Trey Burke not being good anymore just makes me sad because he was one of my favorite college players.
Him and Hardaway in the backcourt.
God, that was disgusting. And he gave 5'10" dudes all around the world hope that week 2 could make threes in a national championship game. And that's 5'10" with shoes on, ladies.
With shoes on. Get out of here.
Taller than Kyler Murray without shoes on. I'm gonna make that my Twitter.
It's 5'7" without.
Well, that'll do it for today. We'll probably catch back up after the All-Star break. A little AAF is now officially slow time. NHL, who cares? The Ducks lost 7 games in a row, and now their GM's their head coach. I think that's crazy. Could you imagine an NFL team being so bad they fire their head coach and then the GM has to come down? Sorry, a baseball team would probably be a better asking of that question because there are a lot of other people that would take the place of a coach on a football team. But imagine being the manager and then like Billy Bean comes down for the day and is like, "All right, boys, let's field some balls."
All right, boys, rotation's on my desk. Get ready.
Rotation. Let's go. You'd be like, "The hell is going on here?"
We do need to get into some NHL talk here soon. Once the playoff race starts heating up.
Well, I'll just be the producer for that episode. Let one of y'all host, and then Dennis can come on because he watches every single San Jose Sharks game and probably knows more about y'all's teams based off just the random game.
Dude, I call myself a Carolina Hurricanes fan, and I have never seen a single game because I can't get them on TV. But they're 3 points back out of the wild card right now.
Well, if anybody... Well, if we actually do want to talk about hockey, I'll just sit out and produce the episode, and Dennis can take my spot because he watches every single San Jose Sharks game and probably knows more about the Hurricanes and the damn Avalanche than you guys do just from the times that they've played the Sharks. And the Sharks are amazing.
All I know about the NHL is how fun it is to watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's the only thing I know about the NHL. Which is why I hope the Canes make it so I can actually watch some of their games.
Who's the closest team to you? Well, it's not the Thrashers. Now they're the Winnipeg Jets. What's the closest team?
To me?
Predators? Yeah.
Nashville's about 6.5 hours away.
Panthers?
Yeah, what city in Florida are the Panthers?
I don't
That's a good question, to be completely honest with you. I'm looking it up right now.
Because I was going to say Tampa Bay.
The Florida Panthers playing. She didn't give me an answer. She said where they play.
Let's see. They play
like that's supposed to help
at the BB&T Center. So where's the BB&T Center?
Since they're in Sunrise, Florida. Do not know where that is.
Close to Miami, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
plan your visit, directions, and parking.
Yeah, I would say I'm closest to Nashville.
That's
just
crazy.
They're in Fort Lauderdale.
That's way down there.
Yeah.
Leighton, would you say that most fans near you for baseball are Braves fans?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely Braves country.
I still think you could do a 30 for 30 on how Braves fans are just dominate the entire SEC.
Because there's like
people say the Yankees have the biggest fan base, but that's like city and I mean like body wise, I would give it to the Braves.
Yeah, the Braves fan base has just been really quiet over the past like 15 years.
Since 1998.
But I saw their hype video on LinkedIn today, and it was hype.
Let's go. Let's go, Ozzy. Coming. Braves had no business being there last year. No business. And there they were.
Oh, they had business, man. Like
no, they did not.
No, their system has been Braves radio for years.
But they were so young. The pitching, they need to pay somebody some money. That's all I want. I want to see them pay a pitcher some money. Pay Madison Bumgarner whatever he wants, dude. That guy is so Southern. He wants nothing to do with San Francisco. Those commercials out there, he's driving like a pickup truck and trying to appeal to San Francisco people, trying to be all redneck. Bro, come be redneck over here.
Dude.
Freddie Freeman drove to pick up Chipper Jones in a snowstorm on a four-wheeler, bro. There ain't nothing more redneck than that.
Give Gauzy a year to develop under y'all, and then pay him.
I take that. I just want somebody that I can trust other than Julio Teheran. I'm sick of Julio Teheran being the best pitcher on the Braves.
You guys have a bunch of young prospects in the pitching department.
I know. We usually do, Leighton, and I hear that, and then 2 months after I hear how great our young prospects are, we train him for some guy who's supposedly really good, and then he just turns to shit and is a waste of money. Wood is who I'm looking at. And then goes off and is a stud for the Dodgers. Could have done that for us, bud.
And now he got traded to the Reds for absolutely nothing. Along with Yasiel Puig and Matt Kemp.
For nothing. For absolutely. That trade is going to come back in.
Dude, they cut the pitcher. Like Homer Bailey, the guy that was in that trade from the Reds, they cut him the very next day.
So literally for nothing.
They got like two prospects, and they weren't even like top notch.
Well, maybe we can do some baseball centric lead ups. Maybe we can do short little previews for each division.
Yeah, well, let's get into spring training, and then we'll talk about some storylines. Hopefully, Harper and Machado will be signed by then.
Leighton, maybe you can lead that. Maybe test those, flex those hosting chops. See what you got. Well, that will do it for this all over the place episode of Consistently Inconsistent Sports. You can find me at _C Morris on all the social medias. Leighton, it is close to your bedtime. But if somebody wanted to look at what your latest Twitter thought was, where would they find it?
Leighton Markwood, ladies and gentlemen. Layton.
Michael, looking like a Twitter profile with a beard. Where can the people find you?
Somewhere in Salt Lake City.
Ooh. Drop a pin, ladies. Find out.
Probably watching those Salt Lake Stallions AAF games.
Dude, you might catch me there next week. Tickets are $19. That's nothing, boys.
Get them season tickets.
Get them season tickets. Yeah.
No, you can find me at all things Chunky Taco.
Sick. Well, check out our new show that premiered last week. Did you hear about Blank? Where we talk about whatever we want. Turned out to be a lot of video game and pop culture talk. Maybe we'll flex that again this week because Apex Legends has taken over the world, and I want to talk about it. So, Leighton, you should download that because it is fun.
I don't even know what it is.
But that'll do it for this episode of Consistently Inconsistent Sports. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video on your Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want. Share it. We'll appreciate it. That'll do it. Thanks for stopping by, and have a lovely day.
Deuces.
Peace.